Hello. Okay, so today we're going to be laddering on the UU ladder. Right now I'm using one of my favorite teams, Die and Try Again. And we're just going to ladder with it for like 5 to 10 games, depending on how long they last, and see how well we can do with it. It's one of my favorite teams that I've used for the past few tier shifts, and it's done pretty well in tournaments, so hopefully it'll do well on ladder here, just the same. All right, we're fighting Sim Nader, who's actually been waiting for a while. I had to do a few takes to do this, so it's very nice of him not to timer me. However, I will turn the timer on myself. Okay, let's just discuss some of the leads that I like to do here. Realistically speaking, low kick's lead is usually the best. If we're adamant, we aren't adamant, because then we can OHKO Rotom, and we two-tap Tinkaton, should I say. Realistically speaking, Gardevoir is another good one, since we have Pivot, Guard, into Hippo. So let's actually do that. As he does lead with the Tink, so we get a free Hippo Pivot. Most of the time, they just go for Rocks here. It's a really smart lead on my opponent's part. Considering this is like 1,000, so it was really good on his part. Most people, realistically speaking, probably lead Rotom Heat. They see this team, they think Rotom Heat is free, then we just Psychic it 2 times. Alright, let's see. He goes for the Fake Out, which is a very interesting play. Very interesting. Okay, so realistically speaking, I'm Hippowdon, and he's got an Espeon, so he's probably going to want to go into his Espeon. Either that, or he'll go for Encore Rocks. Rotom would be a good pivot for my opponent's part. Very good pivot there, as it could be Trick Rotom. We are Terra we are Terra Dragon, so is that... I'm wondering what his plan here is. We've got Pivot Gardevoir, which is incredibly free here. No reason really not to go into the Gardevoir. But I will go for Rocks nonetheless, because I don't mind if he goes for the Trick. Alright, we'll go for the double Rocks here in case he Volt Switches. Overheat is a play that he can go for just the same. As he goes for the Will-O-Wisp. Okay, so it's Trick Will-O-Wisp with Volt Switch Overheat most likely, as opposed to the plot set. Realistically speaking, all this chip is good because it's just making it so that the low kicks is doing a lot more than it was already doing come late game. This being status is not the best, but it's not the worst either, which is another thing to keep in mind. He's probably going to overheat this turn. And so now, Gardevoir is a completely safe switch in here. We're trying to get our guard in on a turn that he's less likely to go for Volt Switch. He could go for Volt Switch this turn, which would actually make sense for me to go Palmont in that instance. Heck, one could argue that I could have went Palmont any of the other times before, but I'm just going to go Gardevoir here, expecting another Overheat or potential Will-O-Wisp. Guard is looking like it's pretty strong come late game, considering this Rotom doesn't have boots and is taking Moonblast, so I think we're doing okay here. Maybe not the best because we still let our Hippo get tricked, but that's okay. As he does make the Tinkaton pivot. Interesting. Okay, so we actually have 2 Tinkaton pivots here with Palmont. Actually, well, 3 with Palmont, Hippo, and Lucario. Another free one, I suppose, that I didn't acknowledge is Bramblegast, given the fact that he has an Espeon, which actually, Espeon does beat Bramblegast, so it's not really that free this time around. Very true. Okay, let's go into our Hippowdon, the potential knock here. As he goes for the Gigaton. Okay, it's a very interesting play there. Very interesting. Okay, let's go into Lucario here. We can SD. Most of the time they don't Encore us because they're afraid of whatever that move's called. CC, goodness. Okay, so this is a completely free close combat. If he stays in, he dies. If he goes into his Gastrodon, he dies. If he goes into his Rotom, he dies. So he's losing him on. We want the Tinkaton to die so that our Gardevoir can win. He should sack his Rotom here, which would be a very good play. Issue, once he sacks his Gastrodon, he still has to find a way to... Oh, he sacks his Tink. That's the best case scenario for us. Okay. Yeah, now Gardevoir is just absolutely decimating his team. He's got to basically try to win with this Quaquaval before our Lucario can win, which is very difficult because we have the +2 Lucario and the low kicks plus Bramblegast to chip it into range. So this is not going to be easy for our opponent, but we'll see if he can make it back. This hasn't been played the most optimally by me, but the thing about this team is you can really get away with a lot of plays that aren't optimal. We don't have to Terra here. This E-Speed kills 100% of the time. Our opponent might not have a Terra that's defensively Ghost. If that's the case, then he's actually losing. If this isn't Steel or this isn't Ghost, he's in a bad position. Or if this is like Adamant, which would be very yucky, he's not going to have a good time. Okay, well that's going to be the first win of the session. Nice, nicely done. Okay, I like to keep open my games just so we can look back at them in case we fight them again, even though it's unlikely. You know, it's good to just have that in mind. Okay, this team is I believe this team's been used a lot actually in tourney play. I might be off potentially, but I feel like I remember Tyranitar, Donphan, Espeon, Lucario, Salamence. If not just Lucario, Espeon, Salamence on some teams. Either way, one of the biggest threats here is going to be the Mimikyu. Otherwise, his team is incredibly weak to Gardevoir, So we're just going to start conditioning with the low kicks lead here, which usually beats a majority of what he wants to lead. We don't die to D-Gleam unless it's Specs. We could also go for the first impression, which is probably the better play. Well, this is probably screened, so I'll just risk it. If he goes to the D-Gleam, we do die, but if he goes to the Donphan, we gain a lot of momentum. And the thing is, even if our low kicks died, that's the thing that a lot of people don't recognize about this team. We can afford to let it die or let it get low because we bring back with the Palmon. Okay, so now we basically just won all that momentum that we wanted, and we can go into our Hippowdon or Gardevoir and Terra, and he can't really do a lot to stop us. He's already revealed that he's defensive and most likely lefties, and Moonblast Terra is killing him, so let's actually just keep it short and sweet and do that. He could be, who knows what he could be. I don't know. I'm just going to Terra Moonblast him. He's going to die, probably. Early Terra, I know, but realistically speaking, I think this is going to be finished very quickly with our Gardevoir. We probably didn't need to Terra there, but I didn't calc it, so whoops. Okay, so Hippowdon's actually a very free pivot here, so is Brambleghast. SD could be a very good play on our opponent's part, especially if he's SD with E-Speed. Focus Sash, but he just goes for the Bullet Punch, which is going to be a free one for us. Most likely our opponent goes into his Espeon, but if he goes into Salamence, we're okay here. As he just goes into the Espeon, we get the EQ play unlike last time, so it's going to be completely rewarded there. And I could just go for Stone Edge here, I'm joking. I'm just going to go for the EQ here, or even Gardevoir pivot is completely acceptable. I'll just go for the Guard pivot here as it covers any type of Grass Knot that he might want to have. Yes, okay, so, yeah, he's in a very bad position here still. His Mimikyu can do something, but it's going to be very difficult nonetheless because he's going to have to dance a lot. And Woodhammer kills Mimikyu, or borderline kills Mimikyu, versus the Hippo in the sand. So this is not the best position for our opponent. By no means. Back into the Lucario, most likely to dance here on the Hippowdon pivot so we can CC my phase, which, you know, very respectable, very respectable. Realistically speaking, I could totally sack my Gardevoir here, and I'll just, you know, make an example of it here. Because even if he killed me with BP, I don't really need the Terra anymore. I didn't even need the Terra in the first place. A lot of the time, you don't need the Terra with this team. You could just afford to make plays like that are very aggressive and get rewarded. So that's the best part about this team. You just make aggressive plays and get rewarded. Okay, so here's the Mimikyu. This is why we have Hippowdon on our team, so that we can go into it on the Mimikyu, clicking SD. We click Slack Off turn 1 on the Woodhammer. Yes. Oh, that's going to kill. Goodness. Wow. So he's got to be out of it or something. Okay, sorry. I was a little bit taken aback by that. That's a lot of damage. Okay. Terry Ghost is probably what's going to be coming out here on my Lucario pivot, because I'm going to go Lucario here. Yeah, obviously. I'm just going to go Lucario here and go for the Bullet Punch. It should break the Disguise. I don't know what range it kills itself at whenever you break the Disguise, but I'm pretty sure this is it. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, he's most likely going to Shadow Sneak here. Maybe Terra Shadow Sneak. Terra Shadow Sneak would probably be the worst thing that he could do in this instance, but, you know, it's probably what he's going to do. Okay, does he die? Okay, no, he does not die. Okay. He doesn't Terra either. Good play by my opponent. Acknowledging that if he did go for the Terra, he was going to be in a very bad position. Okay, so we're just going to go into our Palmot here, bring back the Hippowdon. It also covers the Tyranitar because he has to Terra here into a flying type. Wait, he has to Terra into a flying type. Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit silly. If he tears into a flying type, he's obviously going to lose to the double shock, so it's a very difficult situation for our opponent here. I could Revival Blessing here, which is a very respectable play, brings back the Hippowdon, and, you know, just allows me to potentially win come late game with it, or the Lucario for that means. CC is a very respectable play here too, so I'm just going to CC because it forces him not to Terra. If he doesn't Terra, then he's just dying. Okay, so his only answer here is the Salamence. We just double shock here and then low kicks kill him, but oh, and he's obviously Moxie too. That's a very interesting thing. So he's Moxie, potentially Outrage maybe? Who knows? He could be Scarf for all I know. All right, we're just going to bring back the Hippowdon here. Either the Hippowdon or Lucario. Both are good plays. Probably the Hippowdon here. As he does go for the Dragon Dance turn 1, then goes for the Dual Wing Beat, I want to say, turn 2. Probably EQ2. That's both are good plays. Alright, Double Shock or Encore are good. If I Double Shock that turn, I could have probably killed him with the low kicks, but we're just going to do it in a more roundabout fashion here. We've got the Brambleghast pivot here on deck, as he does go for the Earthquake, as is to be expected with Terra. So now all we have to do is just find a way into our Hippowdon, which is not going to be that hard. We just go into it now. And he goes to the Dual Wing Beat, misses. Yikes. And we just go for the Earthquake here. He's going to die to the low kicks. Yeah, okay. Well, he went for the Iron Head. Okay. Probably was not the most optimal way to go about winning this one. Bringing back the Lucario maybe would have been better. Or just double shocking him, because double shock always got him into range until he roosted. So realistically speaking, double shock was probably the play there. But it is what it is. We still won. And we were able to make an aggressive play on the Mimikyu to even get this far. Tearing with the Terra Fairy probably wasn't worth it, but I didn't calc, so, you know, didn't feel like I needed to calc. But 2 wins in a row. Huzzah, we're already on a great trend with our team. So let's see if we can keep that trend going and maybe get Reqs. Maybe. This is a very interesting team here. Looks like Suicide Lead Fortress with Sandy Shock, Suicide Lead, potentially Booster. And yeah, this is a very interesting team. Very, very interesting team. We always lead off with a Hippowdon here. The reasoning behind that is a lot of people like to lead with their Star Raptor, or actually, I mean, realistically speaking, we don't have to lead with our Hippowdon. Low Kick's lead is really good here too, because we can just first impression the Iron Jegulus, but that's probably not the best play, because Low Kicks is just like, look at what Low Kicks does come late game. This guy does not enjoy Low Kiss, this guy does not enjoy first impression, this guy doesn't enjoy it, and once we get up our rocks, which are very much so free, he's never getting rid of them. If he leads with the Star Raptor, he's probably going to either Brave Bird or U-turn, which both rewards me for clicking Slack off. And if he leads off with this thing and Terra's turn 1, then he's just in a worse off position because he doesn't have his Terra. A lot of people like to do that. The worst part is you don't actually kill Hippo from full with Terra Ice unless you're like Specs or something. Even with like no investment yet. Which ours is just max defense. So we will see. We'll see how he plays this one out. Maybe he might just get a win on timer. Who knows? A win is a win nonetheless, right? Yeah. mean, assuming he's going to lead with Star Raptor. I really am. A lot of people like leading with Star Raptor here. Granted, a lot of people like leading with a lot of these mons. Like, they like leading with Glade to just Sacred Sword turn 1, Iron Jaguar to click Hurricane, Taunt, or Knock Off. Usually not the Halucha. So, like, I think, yeah, like, this guy, they're all, like, conditional leads. And I wouldn't even say they're bad leads versus this team. Like, Sandy Shocks is probably the lead that you'd probably want to go for. Sandy Shocks or the Iron Jugulars are probably one of the best leads that you could lead versus this team. But I mean, it seems like he's not gonna choose one. So let's just get another game going on. It's gonna be our first activity win. Okay, name burger. It's a very interesting team as well. I kind of really like this team though. This team was like actually pretty good. I think that had potential. Okay, this guy's got a low kicks as well. Interesting. Okay. Leads for him. Pelly. Really good lead. Pelly's a very good lead. Problem with this team is that he's incredibly weak to Gardevoir though. So unless this is AV, which it very well could be, he's going to be in a very bad position. Okay, this should be a free low kicks lead, because if he leads his low kicks, we just first impression. If he leads with his Pelipper, then we can just turn into our Hippowdon on turn 1, or even Bramblegas, both very good plays. So this is a very free U-turn here. Scout the damage. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to take more if it's offensive, so Bramblegas should be free. He's just going to turn into maybe like his, oh, he goes for the Hurricane. That's very risky. Very interesting and risky. We get a free spike here. Is he going to go for the turn? Yep. Okay, great. We've got lefties, so we're just chilling here. Him going into his Donphan. And it's going to be not AV, but lefties. So here's the thing. We actually beat Donphan handily in this 1v1. So I'm wondering why he did this. It's a free strength sap on the knock turn 1. Very free strength sap. This is offensive too. Out comes the Wochin. We beat Wochin in the 1v1 as well. A little interesting fun fact for you. We get all layers up. My opponent is not in a very advantaged state. Yeah, very good advantage state by any means. Okay, if he Terras here, I don't care. I'm expecting him to Terra though. Because Terra Ice is just good. I mean, I actually do kind of care if he Terra'd there. It's a good thing he didn't. That would have probably been not the best for me. We can go into our Hippowdon here. As he goes to the Terra Ghost. Okay. Well, okay. Terra Ghost is not something I expected. I'm going to be real with you. So we both get up our hazards, but one of us can actually get rid of the other's hazards very easily. Bramblegas is a very free pivot here, because if he kills me with knockoff, which he doesn't, we can still do stuff. Okay, so we're actually just straight up winning here. This is actually very devastating. Yeah, this is not a good position for my opponent at all. Wow. Full hazards up for, like, no reason he Terra'd. Yeah, that's just the game. Very devastating game that way. It's really devastating. Okay. I don't think I played this too terribly. That was a huge call out on the non-knock there, but we're kind of low ladder, so I don't think it's that astonishing. My opponent's team actually looks like it's very well structured here. I love this water, fire, grass core. You see a lot of these in the game, just because how strong they are. We don't have one, but water, fire, grass definitely puts in a lot of work in UU. And I was told it puts work in other tiers as well, but you see it so often in UU, plastered everywhere. Okay, so let's see what we can do versus this team. Usually the lead is probably going to be the Sandy Shocks. It's very good. Quagsire is another very good lead for my opponent, actually. Yeah, he's got a lot of good leads here. We've got to be wary of the Quagsire. Good thing for us is that, once again, just like with this guy, he doesn't have a single actual answer for Terra Fairy Guard, so come late game, our Terra Fairy Guard is just winning. Also, Bramblegas can prevent him from getting rid of any hazards, so we should be good on that regard just the same. Last but not least, Lucario is amazing come late game and mid game. One could even argue just leading with Lucario is strong, because I could maybe CC the Sandy Shocks for free. Very risky play though, so I'm probably not going to do that. I'll just lead off with the low kicks turn 1, potentially on the Sandy Shocks, but we get the Serene. This is the best lead for us. Wow. Free turn here. Probably on the Tauros Paldean, so we basically just gained a crap ton of momentum and chip on the Tauros. I mean, it's going to be quadra resisted, but oh, he wastes his Terra at turn 1. Wow. That is phenomenal for us. We just go into our Hippo, and he gets himself chipped. This is the best case scenario. Oh my goodness. Alright, Sandy Shocks can't kill us in time. All he has is Quagsire. And Serene is dead, so... I mean, it's borderline dead. Its only purpose was, like, to not die. It's definitely doing that. Okay, we're just gonna get our Roxy. Actually, getting a Roxy is risky. We don't know what this is yet. Whatever. We can afford to take risks. Okay, so we do take a little bit of a risk there, and we don't get rewarded entirely. He's probably going to go for the Hurricane here. It's a free guard here. Very free guard here. Oh, Dragon Dance. Wow. Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay, he's going to be EQ. Dragon Dance EQ, Draco Meteor. Very interesting set. Very interesting. We could afford to take that risk because I know we didn't die to EQ, but if he Iron-Headed me, obviously we would have died. I would have just gone into my Bramble Gas afterwards and gone for Hazard Stack, and we would have revived our guard back later, so it wouldn't have been any trouble. Yeah, okay, so he goes into Sandy Shocks. We're just going to obviously Moonblast here. If he goes for the... Okay, reveals he's Scarf. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting there. So we know his Sandy Shocks is Scarf. His Serene is something. I don't know what his Serene is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if it's AV or not. He's got a very interesting team, though. Scarf Sandy Shocks. Okay. Bombman has a very free pivot here. So does Low Kicks. We could just turn or Leech Life. His only answer is Tauros Paldean. So, I mean, or sacking his T-Tar. That's like another play I guess he could go for. One could argue that going into Lucario and going for a free CC is also good. So let's just do that. Let's just do that. Very free CC. Covers the Tauros Paldean because he doesn't get Intimidate, and he sacks his Tauros. Great. Great, great, great. If he goes Sandy Shocks, we'll sack our Hippo to gain momentum. Actually, we won't. Okay. Out comes the Tauros Paldean. This could potentially be the bulk up set here. I'll sack here. Great, great. Good, good sack there. Exactly, as he does go for the Trailblaze on the potential pivot. Us being faster is just phenomenal. E-Speed's going to clean up nicely here, and it's looking like a terrible position for my opponent because we still have a Bombot, we still have Terra, and we can bring the Gardevoir back and endgame this nicely. Alright, so he's going to die. Probably going to Sandy Shocks here, or just forfeit. Okay. Good, good, good. Alright, that's 5 games. Let's see if we can get a few more. Ooh, first... Psychic Terrain team. Okay, so Psychic Terrain and Gengar are actually one of the worst matchups for this team, so we'll see how we can fare versus this. It's not going to be easy. I will assure you that it will not be easy. Okay, Low Kicks lead is traditionally what I like to do here. Low Kicks or Gardevoir, both are very good leads because we can call out the Indeedee with a U-turn, which most are Scarf, since this is male, or sorry, not Scarf, Max Speed, since this is male, and they just go for the offensive, but it's still good to try with the Low Kicks. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one to win. We're going to have to basically rely on our Gardevoir and calling out the Terra on the Hawlucha alongside our Hippowdon. Oh, here, let's start the timer. I think I might make this the last one, maybe. Seems like a good point to end. 6 wins in a row. Maybe I'll go for 10. Who knows? Okay, so here's the Indeedee lead, as I said they traditionally like to go for. We'll go for the U-turn here. If he goes for the D-Gleam, that's respectable. Or Healing Wish, both are very respectable plays. Goes for the Tinkaton pivot. That's another good play. Very good play for my opponent there. Okay, so we're just going to go into our Hippowdon here. We want to try to make him not gain as much momentum as possible. This is a free EQ because his only plays include Espeon and Gengar, And if he stays in, goes for the Encore, that's good. If he goes Lucha, that's like actually really bad for him because we can just Stone Edge the Lucha twice and we're doing a lot of damage. Lucha traditionally is actually the hardest mon for us to get past. So we'll see what he does here. If he just sacks for rocks, oh, he goes for the Espeon, okay. Very traditional play there. He could go for the Yawn here, which one could argue is like very scary, and you'd be right. It is very scary. But actually, it's actually way too scary. Let's go into the Gardevoir. Okay, so he just goes for their Psychic. Completely fine. We're actually trying to stall out the Psychic terrain all the while. So if he does go into the Tinkaton, we don't actually lose a lot here. Interesting, he just raw went for Psychic there. Okay, he does go for the Tinkaton, gets his attack drop, which is good for me. I'm joking. It doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything at all. Knockoff here is actually kind of good for him. So I have to think about my play here. He's probably going to go for rocks, if I'm being honest with you. Let's just go Hip Out on. Okay, he does go for the knockoff. Good for him. Rocks would have been a good play too, because it hits the low kicks. It's my main thought process there. Okay, we go for the Earthquake here once again. If he goes for rocks here now, that'd be a very reasonable play. Tinkaton Hammer could also be a good play if he specs Gengar. We'll see. I don't know why he was so afraid of rocks, honestly, with this Espeon. They aren't really hurting much on his team. Unless his Gengar is like Sash, which it could be, I guess. Okay, there's going to be the rocks. Which don't actually really do that much to us, but I mean, they're there. Okay, here's the Lucha pivot. Exactly what we were looking for. We're just going to go for the Stone Edge here. Most people taunt. Yeah, they taunt turn 1, which is great. We need to just put him into range with the low kicks, which he borderline already is, and the Lucario, which he also borderline already is. So, yeah, I think Hippowdon practically just did its job here. Now we just need to get past the Gallade, and we'll be peachy keen. Indeed. Okay, so it's probably going to be Agility Gallade. We just need to save HP on this thing after he goes for the SD. We do get unlucky with the secondary miss there, but this should be a free... it's not really a free Stone Edge. One could argue Terra Low Kicks is the wave here, but I will not be one to argue that. Yeah, we're going to have to stall out the terrain a little bit more. You can land them all. One could also have argued me just going for hard Lucario there on the obvious SD. But I think it was risky. I don't know. Okay, so he's obviously just going to go for acrobatics here. Best case scenario, he decides to CC for like no reason. Okay, so we do actually land it this time, which is good. Very good. He's guaranteed in range of the Lucario and low kicks. So we just need to sack something. Probably the Bramblegast, if I'm being honest with you. And then go into the Lucario. Yeah, this is definitely not going to be easy. I could also sack the Hippowdon. That's like a completely reasonable play. And then bring it back with a Palmot. Very reasonable play there. I think I might do that. Worst case scenario would be he goes into his Gengar on my Lucario. It'd be a very good play on my opponent's part. Or even the Indeedee on the Lucario. Could be devastating. Decisions. Our late game could be cleaned with the Gardevoir if he does that, though. Just keeping that in mind. Okay, let's sack here, and then go into our Lucario. So, yeah, I'm expecting him to sack here, but Indeedee would be a very good play. And he seems like he's a pretty decent player. If he makes the momentum play, that's good for him. Okay, he doesn't. Awesome. We just had to stall out the terrain turns here. Yeah, that's really all we can do here is just kind of stall at the terrain turns until something happens. Alright, we CC here. Hopefully we're faster. Hopefully. I don't know. It's kind of... Okay, that's kind of like a... I know that's like a very... I don't know type feat, but it's like... Realistically speaking, that's all we can really do is just hope we're faster. If we aren't, then we have to go into our palm out afterwards to try to revenge this. I don't know the calc, but I'm pretty sure we don't do that. So, yeah, we'll probably actually just sack here, then go into our Brambleghast, go for the spin. If he goes into Gengar, best case scenario, we can Terra Normal and try to Shadow Ball him twice, and then late game with the low kicks. Best case scenario, okay, he does go for the Gengar. It's going to be a very good play by my opponent's part. Very good play by my opponent's part, actually. Yeah. It's a very good play. Shadow Ball is actually incredibly free here, and if it's Scarf, then we're just losing. Very good play. Okay, I'm assuming he's maybe plot here. Trick. Huh. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea why he did that. Okay, I'm just gonna Terra Normal here. It's actually worth it to Terra Normal to kill the Gengar. Like, actually incredibly worth it. Yeah, okay, it's like incredibly worth it to do that. Now we just have to wait 5 turns. If we can live 5 turns, we're winning. The question is, can we live 5 turns versus this thing, or will it kill us? That's the very true question here. Will it kill us? Okay, Lucario here. Okay, he's gonna go for the Sacred Sword turn 1. Good for him. Yeah, will we live 5 turns versus this thing, or will we die? Very good question. I don't actually know. Maybe not. Probably not. Don't know if this is Leaf Blade or not. I'm gonna guess it isn't. Or Scarf. Okay. Let's go for the Brambleghast here. Okay, as he is gonna Terra Steel there, showing that he is indeed Scarf. Damn. Yeah, this is probably a loss here, actually. Just unfortunate, but it's reality. We probably lived that one before. Yeah. Probably lived it before, but definitely not afterwards. Okay, yeah, very unfortunate, but very true. CC here is like, you know, obviously the play we go for if we're faster, but he's probably Scarf and he's just gonna kill us. Oh, he's not. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't... yeah, I don't know, man. This was... I don't think we were even close to winning this. Apparently he was banded, I guess. Okay, well... Yeah, I don't know, man. What? Okay, let's get another one after that one. This was definitely... That was a difficult game. I don't think we were ever actually supposed to win this. But we did, so... I think he just kind of got a little bit overzealous. Very much so overzealous. Alright, Liquid Ocelot. He's got a very interesting team. Very, very interesting team. Interesting idea, though. Stall actually hates this team, just because low kicks lead becomes incredibly free. And we can, like, do draining and all that fun stuff, as well as the Gardevoir being able to pivot in on the Alomola, unless it's Mirror Coat, which it, you know, it very well could be. It'd be hilarious if it was. We'll see what it is, though. I can always trick, though, too. Okay, good Hippo lead from my opponent. Very good Hippo lead. We scout for the Rocky Helmet here, and the damage, so I'm pretty sure that's Spadaf, but I'm not actually 100% sure. Like, 50% sure that's Spadaf. Like, 37% sure. Okay. He goes for rocks. We just go for rocks ourselves. He should go into his Brambleghast pivot. We can actually go into our Brambleghast hard on his Brambleghast, but I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks here. Let's go for the Scream Tail. I don't agree with that play, but let's see what he does. Maybe he's T-waving me. Ooh, he's bulk up. Okay. Well, that is a set. Okay. I guess we just go into our Gardevoir. He's probably going to be the, like, something that I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to trick him. If we die, we're like in a very good position. Okay, so he goes for a play that I really, really don't agree with, which was just staying in on the Gardevoir. Yeah, I really don't agree with that at all, actually. Okay, so we just Moonblast here. Yeah, we want to scout the damage on the Hippowdon, and that is going to be Spadef, which is great. Okay. We just go into our Bramblegrass here. It's a free pivot on his Hippowdon. If he's wise, he goes into his Mets here, which would be so devastating. But he hasn't made any plays, so I'm not expecting him to do that. Yeah, okay. So he is going to be Whirlwind as well, which I would not recommend being. I mean, obviously not. I'm going to go for the spikes here as he goes for the Brambleghast. Okay, we'll Strength Sap turn 1 because we don't die to Shadow Ball. And if he Shadow Sneak, then he loses in the 1v1. So let's see what he does. Okay, we'll actually just find out, I guess, now what he's going to do. If he... Yeah, because Strength Sap actually isn't helping him here. There's going to be the Men's Pivot. I don't know if Draco kills us. This is a pretty free spin here. He is Intimidate, so he's probably going to be... Oh, he's Air Slash. Does he flinch? No, he does not. Okay. Air Slash is so interesting. His team is so different. Very much so. That's good. It's good to have, you know, diversity. Okay, I'm going to actually go for the spikes here just to see what... Actually, spikes probably isn't worth it. I still really want to go for it. Because I want to see if this is max speed or not. I'm going to do it. Okay, he's not max speed. Awesome. That means low kicks is pretty free here. And I can just leech life here. It should kill at this range. Oh, yeah, okay. We just 2-tap Alamola here. There's probably a risky Terra there. This goes back into his Salamence, most likely. Apologize for the movement here. Okay, let's see. All right, back into it. So he did indeed go into his Salamence, as to be expected. We know it's slower than most Salamence are. Hippowdon's a pretty good pivot. Gardevoir is another good pivot. Probably going to make the Gardevoir pivot. Because it's Spadef. And he does go for the Air Slash, misses. Unfortunate for my opponent. We get a free Moonblast here, and he's not going to enjoy this Moonblast at all. Heck, Psychic's probably better. I'm joking. Okay, it's not better. Scream Tail. Wow. Okay, we just killed this thing. I'm wondering if he's going to be Iron Head. No, he's Play Rough. Okay, we just kill that. Yeah, we just kill it with kindness. I'm joking. Just Moonblast him. Okay, so he's got to be max speed Brambleghast in order to actually do anything here. As he goes into his Hippowdon. Interesting. So he's already revealed that his Hippowdon is not Fizz Def, so he doesn't really like low kicks at all. Palmet is another thing that we can do. Very true. Okay, so let's actually just go for the low kicks here. It's already revealed what it is. All he can do here is Whirlwind, which if he does Whirlwind and he brings me into the Palma, then it's not going to be the best situation, or even the Lucario for that matter. It just means that we just kill him with CC. Okay, so he's just going to go for the slack off, but we, you know, outstall him in that regard, so he's going to have to kill something eventually. This obviously is not probably being played the most optimally by me, but, you know. Okay, so Moonblast is a roll to kill, I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna go for it. Why not? Terra Grounds. I don't know why he did that. I'm gonna go for the low kicks. This could be rewarded with the Terra. Sorry, with the. Oh goodness! I really thought that I just I perished there. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, we just gonna drop on my here. Go for the. I want to say the Encore. Probably isn't the best play. Yeah, probably isn't the best play. Revival Blessing into the Bramble Gas is probably the best play here. Especially after you wasted his Terra. That was so interesting. I really want to click Encore here, though. Decisions. Okay, I'm going to make the decision to Revival Blessing. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit indecisive here. Seems like so many plays are just better. Because if we Encore here and we go into our Lucario or our low kicks, we're just like in a very good position. And he just has to respect that. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, we don't get either one of them, which is unfortunate, but I mean, it happens. Naturally, we just go for the Stone Edge here. Not a lot I can do about that. Try to catch the Brambleghast, maybe. Okay, we do catch the Brambleghast, which is good. The opponent's just taking a large amount of chip. Umbreon is going to come out here. Unfortunately, he is just losing to the Palmont. Like, actually, no matter what he does here, he's just losing to Palmont. We just get a free Revival's Blessing into like 2 of our Mons, and he's just not in a good position at all. Yeah, this is just a free 2 Revival Blessings here. I could even go for the Double Shock. It's probably the better play. Double Shock and then just try to end game it with the low kicks. Maybe. That's like what I didn't do last time. So, let's just do it this time. Double Shock into the low kicks. And then Leech Life. Worst case scenario, we don't kill him. And then we just go into our Lucario here. And then end game it very nicely with E-Speed and CC. Okay, well, Umbreon unfortunately isn't going to actually live any of our hits, and Hippowdon is in range. So he'll just go back into Salamence, and the Intimidate doesn't go through Inner Focus. Oh, okay. Well, this thing actually dies to CC. I believe it dies to CC. Don't quote me on this. Okay, it did. We played this very sloppily at the end here. Oh my gosh. E-Speed does kill here. Okay. GG. I'm going to say GG because I know that guy. Yeah, very sloppy game. But I think that's actually going to be it. Yeah, the music's over, so probably good enough. This is a good laddering session. I'm going to try and upload more of these in the upcoming days. All right, thank you so much for stopping by.